So I should be live right now. I'm live. I'm gonna chop the Bible. Okay. We're starting in 33. Jacob meets Esau. Then 34, 35, and 36. You can gauge on how many pages I have. This might be a somewhat long one. I'm gonna focus more on what I say than yesterday. I'm not just trying to rush it. Jacob meets Esau. Now Jacob looked up and saw Esau coming toward him with 400 men. So he divided children among Rachel and two slave women. He put the slaves and their children first, Leah and their children next, and Rachel and Joseph last. He himself went on ahead and bowed to the ground 7 times until he approached his brother. But Esau ran to meet him, hugged him, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. Then they left. When Esau looked up and saw women and children, he asked, "Who are these with you?" He answered, "The children of God have graciously given your servant." Then the slaves and the children approached him and bowed down. Leah and her children also approached and bowed down. And then Joseph and Rachel approached and bowed down. So Esau said, "What do you mean by the whole procession I met? To find favor with you, my lord," he answered. I, I have enough. I have enough, my brother, Esau replied. "Keep what you have." But Jacob said, "No, please, if I found favor with you, take this gift from me. For indeed I have seen your face, and it is like seeing God's face, since you have accepted me. Please take my present that was brought to you, because God has been gracious to me, and I have everything I need." So Jacob urged him, and he accepted. Then Esau said, "Let's move on, and I'll go ahead of you." Jacob replied, "My Lord knows that children are weak, and I am nursing flocks and herds. If they are driven hard one day, the whole herd will die. Let my Lord go ahead of his servant. I will continue on slowly at a pace suited for the livestock and the children, until I come to my Lord at Seir." Esau said, "Let me leave some of my people with you." But he replied, "Why do that? Please indulge me, my Lord." That day Esau started his way back to Seir, but Jacob went to Succoth. He built a house for himself and shelters for his livestock. That's why the place is called Succoth. After Jacob came from Padanaram, he arrived safely at Shushan in the land of Canaan and camped in front of the city. He purchased a section of the field where he had pitched his tent from the sons of Hamor, she Shem's father, for 400 pieces of silver. And he set it up an altar there and called it God, the God of Israel. D- Dinah defiled. Leah's daughter Dinah, whom Leah bore to Jacob, went out to see some of the young women of the area. When Shechem, son of Hamor the Hivite, who was in the region of Joktan, saw her, he looked up and raped her. He became infatuated with Jacob's daughter Dinah. He loved the young girl and spoke tenderly to her. "Give me this girl as a wife," he told his father. Jacob heard that Shechem had defiled his daughter Dinah, but since his sons were with his livestock in the field, he remained silent until they returned. Meanwhile, Shechem's father Hamor came to speak with Jacob. Jacob returned from the field, and when they heard about the incident, they were deeply grieved and very angry, for Shechem had committed an outrage against Israel by raping Jacob's daughter, and such thing should not be done. It definitely should not. Hamor said to Jacob's sons, "My son Shechem has a heart set on your daughter. Please give give her to him as a wife. Intermarry with us. Give your daughters to us and take our daughters for yourselves. Live with us. The land is before you. Settle here, move about, and acquire property in it." Then Shechem said to Dinah's father and brothers, "Grant me this favor. I'll I will give you whatever you say. Demand of me a high compensation and gift. I will give you whatever you ask me. Just give the girl to be my wife." But Jacob's sons answered Shechem and his father Hamor deceitfully, because he had defiled his sister Dinah. "We cannot do this thing," they said to him. "Giving our sister to an uncircumcised man is a disgrace to us. We will agree only on a condition. Of all of your males are circumcised as we are. Then we'll give you our daughters. Take your daughters for ourselves and live with you. Oh no. I just avoid that by accident. That was weird. There we go. Why does this camera look so blue now? Maybe I should look that one. Whoa, that's weird. That's a little better, I guess. This camera's picking up weird now. Okay. But if you not listen to and be and to us and be circumcised, and they'll take her daughter and go. Their words seemed good to her, and the son should show. The young man did not delay doing this because he was delighted Jacob's daughter. Now he was the most important in his father's family. So more important. No, he was the most important in all his father's family. So More and his son Shem went to the gate of their city and spoke to the men of their city. These men were peaceful towards us. They said, "Let them live in our land, and move about in it. For indeed the region is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters as our wives, and give our daughters to them. But the men will only agree to live with us and the people on this condition, while our men are circumcised as they are. Won't their livestock, our possessions, and their animals become ours? Only let us agree with them, and they'll live with us." All the men who came to the city gates listened to Hamor his son, Shem, and all those men circumcised. On the third day, when they were still in pain, two of Jacob's sons, Simon and Levi, and his brothers, took their swords, went to the unsuspecting city, and killed every male. They killed Hamor and his son Shem with their swords. Wait, with the swords took Dinah from Shechem's house and went away. Jacob's sons came to Sodom and plundered the city because their sister had been defiled. They took the flocks, herds, donkeys, and whatever was in the city and the field, captured all the possessions, dependents, and wives, and plundered everything in the house. Then Jacob said to Simon and Levi, "You have brought trouble on me, making me odious the inhabitants of the house. The Canaanites, Perizzites, few number until they unite against me and attack me. I and my household will be destroyed." But they answered, "Should we treat our sister like a prostitute?" Return to Bethel. 8 minutes. God said to Jacob, "Get up, go to Bethel, and settle there. Build an altar to the God who appeared to you and who fled from brother Esau." So Jacob said to his family and all who were with him, "Get rid of the foreign gods that are among you. Purify yourselves and change your clothes. You must get up and go to Bethel. I'll build an altar there to God who has answered me in every day of my distress. He has been with me everywhere I've gone." Then they gave Jacob all their foreign gods and their earrings, and Jacob hid them under the oak near Shechem. When they had set out, a terror from God came over the cities around them, and they did not pursue Jacob's sons. So Jacob and all who were with them came to Luz, that is Bethel, in the land of Canaan. Jacob built an altar there and called that place El Bethel, because it was there that God had revealed himself to him when he was fleeing from his brother. Deborah, who had nursed and raised Rebekah, died and buried under the oaks south of Bethel. So Jacob named it Elam-Bekah. God appeared to Jacob again as he returned from Padan Aram and blessed him. God said to him, "Your name is Jacob. You will no longer be named Jacob, but you will be named Israel." So he named him Israel. God also said to him, "I'm God Almighty, be fruitful and multiply. A nation indeed will assemble of nations will come from you, and kings will descend from you. I'll give you the land I gave Abraham and Isaac, and I'll give you the land to your future descendants. But then God withdrew from the place where he had spoken to him. Jacob set up a marker at the place where he had spoken to him, a stone marker. He poured a drink offering on it and anointed it with oil. Jacob named the place where God had spoken with him Bethel. Wait, he named the place, but it already was in Bethel? Rachel's death. They sent out from Bethel when they were still at some distance from Bethlehem. Rachel began to give birth, and her labor was difficult. During her difficult labor, the midwife said to her, "Don't be afraid, for you have another son." With the last breath, for she was dying, she named him Ben-Ani, but his father called him Benjamin. So Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrath, that is Bethlehem. Jacob got a marker on her grave. It is the marker at Rachel's grave is still today. That's pretty cool. So Jacob set up a marker on her grave, and it is the marker at Rachel's grave is still today. I know it's still at Rachel's grave still today. So it's still there. Israel's sons. Israel sent out again and pitched his tent beyond the Tower of Eder. While Israel was living in that region, Reuben went and slept with his father's concubine Bilhah, and Israel heard about it. Jacob's 12 sons, sons were firstborn. Jacob's first sons, Zebulun, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. Rachel's sons were Joseph and Benjamin. Sons of his sons, Rachel's slave Bilhah, was Dan and Naphtali. Their sons of Lee's slave Silpah. It's one of someone. Or Gadnash. These were the sons of Jacob who were born to him in Padan Aram. Isaac's death. Jacob came to his father Isaac at Mamre, serve you now, in Kiriath-Arba, that is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac had stayed. Isaac lived 180 years. He took his last breath and died and was gathered to his people, old and full of days. His sons Esau and Jacob buried him. Esau's family. Esau's chapter 36, last chapter. These are the family records of Esau, that is Edom. Esau took his wives from the Canaanite woman, Adallah, daughter of Elon the Hethite, Aholibamah, daughter of Anah, and granddaughter of Sibeon the Envite, the Hivite, and the Basemath, daughter of Ishmael, and the sister of Nebaioth. Ada bore Eliphaz to Esau. Basemath bore Reuel, and Oholibah bore Jeush. His herds, all his livestock, and the property he had to the land away from his brother Jacob, for the possessions were too many for them to live and get gathered. And because their herds, the land where they stayed, could not support them. So Esau had to eat and lived in the mountains his year. These are the family records of Esau, father of the Edomites, the mountains of Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons. Eliphaz, son of Esau's wife, Ada, and Reuel, son of Esau's wife, Basemath. Sons of Eliphaz were Teman, and were Sepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. Timnah, a concubine of Esau's son Eliphaz, bore Amalek to Eliphaz. These are sons of Esau's wife Adah. These are Rahil's sons, Nahah, Thera, Shema, and Mizah. These are the sons of Esau's wife Basemath. These are the sons of Esau's wife Oholibamah, daughter of Anna and granddaughter of Sibeon. She bore Jeish, Jamal, and Korah to Edom. These are the chiefs among Esau's sons. His sons are Eliphaz, Esau's firstborn, chief Teman, chief Omer, chief Sepha, chief Kenaz, chief Korah, chief Gatam, and chief Amalek. These are the chiefs descended from Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These are sons of Adah. These are sons of Reuel. Esau's sons, chief Nahath, chief Sarah, chief Shema, chief Mizah. These are the chiefs descendants from Reuel, the land of Edom. These are sons of Esau's wife Basemath. These are sons of Esau's wife Oholibamah, chief Jewish, chief Jolamah, and chief Korah. These are the chiefs descendants from Esau's wife Obamah, daughter of Anah. These are sons of Esau, that's Edom, and their chiefs. Seir's family. These are sons of Seir, the Horite, the inhabitants of the land. Lieutenant, Shobal, Sibian, Anah, Yeshur, Ezra, and Dishon. These are the chiefs among the Horites, the sons of Seir in the land of Edom. The sons of Latan were Eri and Heman. Timnah was Latan's sisters. These are the Shubal's sons, Alvin, Manahath, Ebal, Shapho, and Onam. These are Simeon's sons, Aa and Anna. This was Anna who found the hot springs in the wilderness while she was pasteurizing the donkeys of her father Zibeon. These are the children of Naah, Dishan, and Oholibamah, daughter of Anna. These are Dishan's sons, Hamadan, Eshban, Erithan, and Shiran. These are Ezra's sons, Bilhan, Zavan, and Akin. These are Dishan's sons, Uz and Aaron. These are the chief among the Horites, chief Latan, and chief Shobal, chief Sivan, chief Anah, chief Dishan, chief Ezra, and chief Dishan. These are the chiefs among the Horites by clan and the seer. I'm not excited for numbers. Rulers of Edom. These are the kings who reigned in the land of Edom before any king reigned over Israelites. Bela, son of Beor, reigned in Edom. The name of his city was Dinhabah. When Bela died, Jobab, son of Zerah, from Basra, reigned in his place. When Jobab died, Husham from the land of the Temanites reigned in his place. When Husham died, Hadad, son of Bedad, reigned in his place. He defeated Midian in the field of Moab. The name of the city was Avith. When Hadad died, Samalah from Ezrath reigned in his place. When Samalah died, Shaul from Rabath on the Euphrates River reigned in his place. When Shaul died, Baal-Hanan, son of Archbur, reigned in his place. When Baal-Hanan, son of Archbur, died, Hadad reigned in his place. His city was Pia, and his wife's name was Mehetabel, daughter of Musahab. These are the names of Esau's chiefs according to their families and their localities by their name: Chief Timnah, Chief Alva, Chief Jetha, Chief Oholibamah, Chief Ella, Chief Pinion, Chief Kenaz, Chief Teman, Chief Mibzar, Chief Majdiel, and Chief Aram. These are Edom's chiefs according to their settlements in the land they possessed. Esau was the father of the Edomites. That was a tough last chapter to get through. Like, it's just talking about descendants. Like, it really makes you tired. And so, Numbers, it's going to be like hour long a day. That's an exaggeration. Okay? So, you can't hold me against that. But it's going to be a long time each day. And so, I'm not excited for that. But basically, in chapter 33, it was talking about, let me see. So, Jacob was getting ready to approach Esau, and then when they did, he was scared, but because there's 400 men and all that, then Esau hugged him and even kissed him, and like was super excited, and then they wept, and like so, he realized how Esau had already forgiven him, and then he told him he'd go slowly behind Esau because he cannot push like all his like animals and all that livestock, or they'll die from 2 hard days of work. So he went slowly, but then Dinah was defiled and by who was it? Shechem, and so then they tricked all the men, and they deceived them, and then they murdered all of them. They returned to Bethel, and Jacob was also Israel, from God changing his name, made another altar and poured it out to God. And then Isaac died after living 180 years. And then it talks about Esau's family for the final chapter, and that just goes on forever. Well, not forever, really. But yeah, that's all for today. And so I'm going to make sure it's not turning out like that one the first time I streamed. Okay. So remember, God loves you. Goodbye.